Hello, hello, hello. Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you from Penisville. I tried to broadcast today from Vaginaville, but that's a gated community, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I wanted to do a video on decisions and the consequences of our decisions. Now, it sounds like a boring subject and a boring thing, but you know, as I get older and older, I'm starting to see that the decisions we make when we're in our 20s and 30s are pretty much going to be the themes of our life. We've all heard about, planning in advance. God, when I sold insurance, we said more people spend time planning a vacation than they do their lives. There's a lot of truth to that, and I'm guilty of that too. When you're young and you have the gated code to Vaginaville, you don't think about what if you get blind and you can't see the pad. So anyway, what I'm saying here is the decisions I made in my 20s and 30s have really permeated my life. I wouldn't be surprised if it permeates your life too. Now we think, oh, you get 40 and 50 and now you're at the head of your business or your class, and most of us aren't. Most of us aren't. Who we are has to do a lot with where we come from. If our parents are alcoholics and drug addicts, God, we've got 2 strikes against us before we go into the real world. If we're making decisions about being a criminal and you're stealing cars when you're 16, or you're drinking, or you're doing other things that get you on the police blotter, that's going to follow us. That's going to follow us. One of the things I've found in life is that most people that fail cannot look into the future. They can't be a prophet to themselves. They're not able to see, how is this going to affect me, even in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I was the only one in my generation, in fact, all generations of the Bard family, I was the only one that went to college. And it was a struggle. My parents didn't help me in college. My parents weren't college educated. I didn't know what I was walking into in college. I didn't know anything socially, what the load was going to be mentally and educationally. I had not prepared well in high school. I sure liked short dresses in high school, but I didn't like, math and geography, etc. So I struggled. I mean, I think I hold the record for being on academic probation at BYU. But I made it. I made it. And that taught me some lessons. People would say to me, well, my brother Randy, the crazy one of the family, he came home from his mission, and we were standing in front of the administration building at Brigham Young University, and I told him, I think I was a sophomore, that or a junior, that I could help him get into BYU. I know the ropes now. I know how to get in and what they're looking for, etc. I said, I'd be glad to help you. And he goes, no! Just like he does today. He's 65. No! I go, okay. Live it your own way. So he says, I make more money hanging drywall. What do you say in those days? I make $7 an hour. That was big money in 1970. Whatever. And you don't make anything. You just look at your books. Well, there's truth to that. But I was able to look down the road. And I thought, well, they say I don't make more money and that I'll be more comfortable if I have a college education. And I looked around me. You can't believe everything you hear. You can't believe. But I looked around me at people that didn't go to college and who were drywall contractors when they were 62. And I said, I think I'll take the education. Now there's prophecy. I was able to look into the future and say, I think that's the better choice. We don't always make the better choice. Sometimes we're just plain stupid and screw up. But that was a better choice in my life. Well, today, I'm sitting here in front of you. The house is warm. Here in Penisville, there's nothing to do till we get into the gated community, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I have food in the refrigerator. I have electricity. I have, you know, the general comforts of a normal life in the United States. My cars start now. I actually have auto insurance. If you knew how many decades I drove without auto insurance, you would be laughing and laughing. I can afford auto insurance now, etc. My brother, on the other hand, the drywall contractor, he gets, I think, $500 and some dollars, $80 or something a month from Social Security. Now, the reason his Social Security is so low is another decision. When I worked the job, I paid my Social Security. You know, I didn't evade and avoid Social Security. It was the law and getting paid under the table. Now, have I been paid under the table a couple of times? Yes, I have. But not my whole life. Randy's whole life, he lives under the table. Well, he didn't put that much in Social Security. Now he's screwed. He can't even live in the United States. He goes, I can't even live there. It's not enough money for rent and food. So he decides to go to the Philippines. This is a decision he made. We were standing in front of BYU. He's a returned missionary. He had every chance, but he couldn't see into the future. And now he lives in a squatter's camp. If you've ever been in a squatter's camp in the Philippines, you can't even describe the filth and the squalor that's in those camps. Anyway, sometimes he has electricity, not all the time. I have it all the time. And, you know, clothing and mental and dental and physical, no Medicare, no nothing. Well, he's now sick and I guess dying. I don't know. We're all dying every day, but his life turned to shit. 50 years ago, we were standing at BYU. He had an opportunity. He didn't take it. He didn't take it. Now, that's a fairly strong contrast of not seeing into the future. But here's what I've discovered in the last short while. The days that we spend in our life, and I know when you people are young, God, you don't even think of this shit, but the days we spend, we have a choice of how we want to spend that day. If we want to spend that day on our period, screaming and yelling, throwing shit, jumping up and down, God, we can do that. When I have my period, well, I do that sometimes. Anyway, the principle is this. If we want to get up and be screaming and yelling at our children or our mates, or we want to be, you know, upset at Comcast or life in general, we can do that. But then the next 24 hours, that's how we live. Do we want to spend that 24 hours, or do we want to say, screw it, I don't care, I'm going to smile, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to go play golf, or I'm going to go get in the car and go up into the mountains and take a look around. The rest of you get screwed. We can tell life to get screwed. Most of us don't know that till we're older. And life becomes a little more precious because it passes so quickly. By the way, Allison turned 11 today. She's so cute. She's so cute. She says, can we go to Maverick this morning, Dad? I'd like to get something. She knows. I spoil the hell out of those girls. Abigail was sick yesterday. So I choose in my old age not to argue, pick my battles very carefully, and I'm not going to let anybody rob hours out of my days. I'm not going to do it. I'm in charge of my life. I'm in charge of my days. And if I have a stupid-ass boss or I have a job I don't want, I know many of us get trapped in stuff. We got to eat. We have kids. But the decisions that we make of how we spend that 24 hours, I'm glad I've learned that I can walk away. You know, when I go over to City Hall and the lady, she doesn't know anything about her job. She doesn't know a thing about her job. Sit down with an attorney, he doesn't know shit about anything. Sit down with, you know, the cable company, except they don't know shit about cable. They can only spell it. So I say to myself, do you want to spend the next 4 hours yelling at these morons, or do you want to just say screw it and you walk away? And then I try not to let my mind run it over and over again. And being bipolar, that's a lot harder than you guys. You guys can walk away from shit and forget it. I can't. It plays in the back of my mind when I see injustice or I see stupidity. It just stays back there like a movie rolling and rolling. So anyway, listen to an old man. You're young. You've got your whole life in front of you. Don't spend it with idiots. They're all around you. They're all around you. I wish they would have a law that would make them put a big sign on their forehead that says, asshole. I don't know anything. Then we'd be a little bit forewarned. But you're young. Don't waste even your young years and your young days on things that don't bring you pleasure. The only thing we have is our experiences, our life. And if you sit and go either direction, sit and scream and scream and scream at the morons, or you roll up in a ball and you know, you hide in the bottom of the toilet, nobody cares. It's your life. And if they can make your life miserable, it makes them feel better. I won't give them that pleasure. So, in summary here, I say let's try to make decisions that make our day. Now see, if I say our life, I lose 3/4 of you. 3/4 your brain is out the it's not the goddamn door, it's the door, God. Anyway, what I'm saying is that 24 hours in a 66-year-old man's life is no more important than 24 hours in a 28-year-old life. It's important. Let's let those hours bring us pleasure. Let's let those hours every day go, God, it was a nice day today. Yeah, the cable, you know, fell off the wall, and, you know, things have happened that are negative, but screw it, I don't care. And you read a book, or you get on the computer, you do what you want to do that brings you pleasure. It's your life. Don't let other people waste and ruin your life. That you go around and I go around with a big frown on our face because other people are screwing with us. Look down. Look down. I remember every day in high school, I'd walk downtown and get a Coke and 3 candy bars, a Hershey and a Nutty Buddy. Is it a Nutty Buddy? Yeah. I can't remember. 3 every day. Every day! And I said to myself, this isn't really a good lunch for you. Someday you may have to pay. Now I'm sitting in front of you, a damn diabetic, shooting 140 units of N and 60 units of R every damn day. That was a choice I made. That was a choice I've made. Now I've gained, 200 pounds because I overshoot that insulin sometimes and I start to starve to death. I got to go eat, and it's a vicious cycle. You just get, bigger and bigger and stupider and stupider. That was a bad decision. I still drink Coke and eat candy bars. They're bad decisions. Now, with the bipolar, I thought all of you were sick. I didn't know it was me. I look around and say, these people are all stupid. I'm the brilliant one here. Well, after 6 divorces, 15 or 20 lawsuits, and losing my ass financially, houses, cars, whatever, fighting City Hall, I finally sat down and said, Self, I think there's medication for this shit. I got on medication. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy emotionally or mentally. And finding the right medication and finding the right dosage is a nightmare. It took me 10 years to do that. But my life is better. And I've looked down the road, and now when people do shit. I hate to go out the front door because there's assholes and cockroaches everywhere. And, you know, if you're a Mormon, I'm not calling you a cockroach. Not. Anyway, let's make these hours good. Tell the world to screw off. You're a happy person, you're a fun person, and by God, no one is going to rob those hours from you. Even if you're sitting in jail watching me, those hours are yours. Just because you're behind bars or behind the doors or whatever, that doesn't mean you have to feel the way they want you to feel. You feel the way you want to feel. I want to have a fairly happy life from now on. I don't want to argue. You know, I got Allison a cat for her birthday present. And that's as close as I've been to a pussy in a long time. No, a pussy cat. Anyway, I gotta go get my meds. Folks, listen. Make every hour count. You make that hour happy for you. So you look back and you have memories that are fond, that are peaceful, are joyful. You know, when you look back, you don't want your memories to be lawsuits and drinking and drugging and hurting family members and, you know, being sad and miserable all the time. Get off your period, folks. Get off your period and join I Hope Me. You know, I'm not perfect at this. I'm not perfect hardly at anything. Well, one thing. Anyway, live it. There's just so many hours. You're in a wheelchair. I've got clients that are in wheelchairs. I've got clients that are poverty poor. I've got clients and patrons. Oh, I like the temple word. Patrons. I called a lady the other day. I don't do this very often because every time I've had contact with one of you, you're nutballs. So I don't make too many personal contacts. But this lady seemed to be sincere. And she wrote to me, and I read her letter, and it was moving. The letter was moving, and I thought, well, she's probably a really good person, and she just wanted to have contact. She says, I have MS, and I'm in a wheelchair. And she went on with some very complimentary things about me, and it made me feel good. And I thought, you know what else makes me feel good? I'm just going to give her a call. I'm just going to give her a call, and I did, and we chatted for a few minutes. So that made my day happy. Whether it made hers happy, she said it did. But I want my days to be happy. The world has robbed enough time. See, Monson calls every damn time I get on here, and I just say, hey, Monson, damn, go talk with Jesus. You know, well, you can't be looking at me because I haven't posted this video, but that's coming out of Kansas, so I don't know who's calling me out of Kansas. Dorothy, I don't know. Summary, live it. You and me got just so many hours, so many minutes. If we're in a nursing home, or we're in quad bypass surgery, or we're in a divorce, or we're losing our ass financially, whatever, don't let the world run your life. You run it. And you know, when I was leaving the Mormon church, I had a smile on my face for months because I knew I was leaving. And people, the Mormons, would come up to me in my ward and go, why are you smiling so much? I knew I was leaving and getting the hell out of the cult. I didn't say anything. He says, do you know something we don't know? And I go, yeah, I do. This is bullshit, and I'm getting out of it. They were amazed, because Mormons are not happy people. They're sad people. They're supposed to smile in public, but in their homes and everywhere else, they're miserable. So anyway, put that little smile on your face too. Let's not let the world take us down. No. No. Even if we're laying in our grave and we can put one hand up, put this up. I'm still here, you bastards! And they'll step on it. They'll step on it. But you know what? It makes their days short and miserable. not ours. Thanks.